right here, we got ourselves a 460 cubic inch big block Ford. This is from the 385 series, and it shares similarities with the Cleveland, which is what I know and love, with the canted valve design. So I went to New Kuyama this weekend and picked this up. Used engine. Looks like it hasn't been rebuilt. So we're gonna be rebuilding this on a college student's budget. I have a plan for it, long-term game plan, that I'm not about to share with you guys right now. I'll leave that for a future video. But today we got it set up on the stand, and I'm gonna be tearing it down. Right now I'm just popping the intake off, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Last intake bolt to remove, and of course it's the one right by the water neck, and snap both bolt heads trying to remove that. A lot of force to get that guy loose with a crescent wrench, but she's loose, so I'll be able to pop the intake off. We're definitely not reusing this cast iron low rise intake. So you just want to find a little area where you can wedge a screwdriver under. Don't want to pry on this valve cover if you're planning on using it at all, but you're gonna hear it pop, and now it's loose. Okay, well that's not as good as I thought it was gonna be. Intake ports look pretty fucking rusted. There's water in here for sure. Yeah, obviously we're gonna be getting all this stuff cleaned up and going from there, but initial thoughts is that this thing has a lot of water inside, and yeah, those valves are gonna be rusted shut. The goal of this is, well, we're gonna be rebuilding this block on as tight a budget as possible, minimal machine work. I'm gonna be doing as much as I can myself, reusing as much hardware as I can, you know, making the most fucking horsepower at the same time. But yeah, that's not what we wanted to see. That's not what we wanted to see at all. That one looks terrible. And obviously this fucking mess, oil and water down in the lifter valley. Let's dig deeper. But judging from that disgusting looking sludge, this thing never got regular oil changes. That is fucking heinous. The other side is just as bad. That's disgusting. That is purely disgusting. I can barely see where most of the head bolts are. Like, the thing is, like, I want to reuse these rockers and the heads to save on this budget. But yeah, dude, they do not look good. On the bright side, well, the engine does spin over. I knew that going into this. But on the bright side, the valve's open. Even the rusted ones, here, see that? I'll go back. Yeah, even these rusted valves are opening and closing. That's a better view. Yep, they're moving. So the valves aren't rusted shut. Look at that. That's why you change your oil, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. That's crazy. Got my work cut out for myself, don't I? But yeah, these head bolts are on super tight, and it's just torquing the stand. So I'll be back with the impact gun. Just look at these ports, 460 cubic inches, and that's like a 2V Cleveland head. Small, relatively small. intake ports. And the exhausts aren't good. They're very restrictive exhaust ports. Right now we're looking at a whole lot of oil sludge in the inside of this engine. Everything spins and the valves aren't rusted, but that's pretty fucking terrible. Like, it's gonna take a lot of cleaning to get this back to a usable condition. And the goal of this being a budget build is we're gonna try and reuse as much as possible. That means rocker arms, cylinder heads, all that. Unless they're toast. Like, if that lack of oil has ruined them, then yeah, we're not reusing them. Well, other than obviously being covered in oil sludge, the real question is, after we clean these, how pitted, how damaged are these pivot surfaces? Oh shit. Right. It's a question of, can we actually reuse these? I hope so. I hope so. That'd save a few $100. I mean, push rods like really should be fine. Clean them out. Won't be reusing valve springs. I have a feeling these cylinder heads are going to be pretty fucking heavy. Oh yeah, it's light work. Look at all that. I just set it down on the ground. Wow. Look at that more later. So first off, look at the bores. So clearly there's water getting in there. Is that rusty stuff? But yeah, there's a bit of cross hatchings left on these. You know, they're not totally glazed, and the ring ridge, you know, I can't feel my I can't catch my nail on the ring ridge. I cannot feel the ring ridge there, and there is some crosshatch. So I'm thinking, if all goes to plan, I mean my plan, we're gonna hone these cylinders and send it, potentially with some different pistons. But yeah, we're looking to avoid boring these out. Jesus, look at that. Look at that. That was clogged. You know, I really got to dig through a layer of oil to get the socket to actually grab the head of these bolts, huh? It doesn't really look like it was overheating to me. But as you can see on this side, bringing you guys on over to this side, look at all that. Look at that. Like, I don't know if it really looked like the motor was overheating, but it must have been. Must have been running hot. Like, not sure if I'll take the block to a machine shop, get it hot tanked. I have a parts washer, but yeah, I'll probably do that. Do as much as I can cleaning and dressing this block before we consider a machine shop. Saving money is the name of the game here. I'm a college student after all. I got no money. It's an expensive hobby. Jeez. Wow. That's pretty remarkable. So I saw this in the pictures. Before I went to get this motor, I saw in the pictures how the, yeah, you can see the front pulley is fucked up. And I think that outer pulley is for air conditioning, but I might be wrong. Like the Cleveland I have, you have water pump, alternator. That's all we're gonna need. Probably electric water pump as well. Now, you can't see the other side, but they are all doing what pistons are supposed to do. Seems the cam, so it's kind of surprising. Yeah, ring ridge is good on this side too. I think we'll be able to give it a hone. Probably new pistons though. We don't want, I mean, kind of depends on the direction that you're going with this. Like, if you want high compression, these pistons are not your friend. All right, we're gonna get down there, see what the oil looks like. Right now, I'm not a mechanic, but I like to think I somewhat know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to admit my own failures. Got a 302 when I was in high school. It was a used engine, and I trusted, I thought. Last guy must have drained the oil. Wrong. Don't take off the oil pan without draining the oil first. Don't be like me. That shit made a mess. That was a little sketchy. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Nice. Surprised there's any oil in it. Most of it's up here.
Oh, that's what you're up
Hey,
to.
what's up, Mike?
I've heard you over here making noise all day. I'm wondering what the. What was that at one point?
This is a 460.
Oh, yes. I had a 6011 Continental with a 460 in it.
Yeah?
460 with a 4-barrel.
Yeah, dude, this one does not look good. I mean, dude, look at all this.
I got grease on the hands from the barbecue if you need a hand in here.
Yeah? My hand's pretty dirty.
I mean, we had one of his buddy's speedboats in there. We built a blown 454 for this speedboat.
Nice.
He took it out and twisted the frame on the boat.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
Jonathan had warned him, watch it when you nail it. Probably drunker than hell. Was like, what's this?
Yeah, it looks decent, like on the ends, like the bores and the cylinders look okay, but like I never seen anything like this. Like someone never changed the oil.
Never
Changed the oil.
Never change the oil on that thing.
And that's crazy.
Can you get it to at least roll?
Yeah, it spins over. I wouldn't have bought it if it didn't spin over. It's $100.
I was gonna say, if you need muscle, let me know. I'll twist it over for you easily.
Yeah, no, I want to put a turbo on it. Like a big.
Oh, you get it
Single
cleaned up
turbo.
and cleaned up right, and she'll handle it.
All right, look at all this. This is just me scraping at them with a screwdriver. Look at that pile. All this oil sludge. Lack of maintenance right there. Now, given the obvious lack of oil changes, it's really surprising to me how good the crank looks. Those journals I mean, they're not perfect, but they're very usable. Maybe a little polish. These are gonna work just fine. Now you can see all these oil holes have been clogged. Well, we'll be cleaning that out, obviously. You know, might need to go with some oversized bearings, but this crank is definitely usable. And it really surprises me that this crank is not just destroyed, right? Look at that. Every oil hole in the crank is like that. It's crazy. Let's see how the mains look. All right, it's from the number 4 main cap. Some copper showing right there. These are the mains. You know, the main journals and the rod journals, they're not perfect. Don't get me wrong, they're not perfect. But they are surprisingly good for how fucked up the rest of the engine looked. And I believe that a little bit of polishing, these are going to clean up just fine. This crank and rods are going to be usable. So I'm popping the pistons out right now, and the oiling holes on the crank are clogged up. It's clear to see that they're gummed up, man. The pistons are almost all the same. They all got copper showing on the bearings. The upper rod bearing takes the brunt of the damage. Now, they might not be pretty, but these low compression 460s pistons, man, they're just asking for boost.